Okay, find your sits bones, right? Rock back and forth. Use a block in back of your chair if you need to. Make sure the chair is firm and you're comfy. Undo the belt, right? And a button. Yogi's choice, whether you want your palms up or palms down. Just finding our sits bones. Find what feels good. Think long spine, crown of the head reaching towards the sky like we're getting measured. And we're going to begin to quiet the mind. So we're letting go of everything outside of us and our to-do list that's going on in our heads and things that we concern ourselves with so that we can be fully present for our practice. And just let your breath flow out and in and out. Soften from the crown of the head, the eyes, cheekbones, create space between the teeth. And when you come into your quiet place, so that we can focus inward, our interoceptive practice, begin to systematically scan your soma. So we're in our soma scan of the physical layer first, noticing how we feel, bringing awareness to those areas of tension or tightness or that need tender loving care. Notice the creases and the spaces. Maybe noticing the quality of the air as it brushes up against our skin or our clothing against our skin. And notice the arrangement of your body in your seat. Are you drawn inward? Or sitting long in the spine without being rigid? Are you feeling cattywampus or being heavy on one side or the other? Or is a shoulder hiked up towards an ear? So noticing all of these things, bringing awareness so that we can compare and contrast throughout our practice and at the end of our practice. Bringing awareness, are the ankles underneath the knees and the knees out from the hip points, not the flesh that flows from the seat, and we can always scoot that out of the way, and the shoulders over the hips and the ears over the shoulders. Then let's move into the other layers of who we are. So staying quiet in our mind, recognizing these areas into the emotional layer. So mind, body, our spiritual layer. And honoring all of the memories and the experiences that are held within our minds and our bodies. Making a conscious choice to let go of the ego so we don't push or crank ourselves into anything. We move with ease, we move with pleasure and curiosity and playfulness. So somatic inquiry. And if you'd like to bring your hands to your heart center, if you'd like to set a personal intention for your practice, please take a moment to do so. And then when you're finished, just bring the palms down to the thighs. Remember, your body is your best teacher. I'm here to give you tools and to demonstrate, share with you, and it's up to you to practice mindfully. Feather your techniques, start out small, honor your limits, and have fun. So from here, let's again rock around on your sits bones. Come towards the front of your chair if you're not there already. Feel free to open your feet a little bit wider. Scooch your flesh out of the way and allow your pelvis to just sit naturally. Let the belly soften outward. And we're going to move right into arch and flatten. So when the center of our body is constricted, that pulls our body forward and it gives us that forward head carriage. It affects our posture. So these movements are going to address the center of the body. So being soft in the belly, we're going to arch that lower back, and then we're going to flatten it out against our imaginary wall and coming back to neutral. Arch the lower back and flatten out. We notice that when we begin to flatten, we pull belly button towards spine and come to neutral. Again, arch the lower back and try not to pull your chair forward with it. That's what I just did. And flatten out and come to neutral. Let's do that again and start to bring the mid back in to play. So lower and mid back, and you might notice that your chin lifts a little bit and then flatten out. You feel our pelvis rock under a little bit and come back to neutral. Again, lower and mid back. We're leaving the shoulders alone, so let them go along for the ride, but don't deliberately try to round them out. When that belly button is towards the spine, we feel our shoulders move forward and back to neutral. And now let's move up, lower, mid, and upper back. Those muscles surrounding the shoulder blades come towards the spine. And then we're going to flatten out, come to neutral. So we haven't connected with our breath very much here. So maybe as your heart space gently comes forward and you arch your back, take a breath in. Belly is soft and it puffs out. Let go of the breath and round out. Begin to flow a little bit. So feather your technique, start out small, come to neutral. Belly fills. And maybe one more. And coming back to neutral. Rock on your sits bones. Notice how that feels. We're going to bring the hands alongside the body. We're going to inhale the hands up. You might feel the ribs lift a little bit. To lift the arms and the shoulders is to lift the ribs. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. And exhale down. Good. Bring the wrists out and just circle them around. Stay connected with breath and pause and go in the other direction and add a little elbow. Listening for snap, crackles, or pops. We want to notice whether we get stuck or ratchet, and open and close. And palms to the thighs. I am getting warm already. Rock on the sits bones. Good. Pause here. Cleansing breath. Good. And we're going to move the diamond. So that thoracolumbar diamond, starting out small. So keeping our center of gravity inward. Remember, if you have stickiness here, we can stay in that spot or we just try to smooth it out. Face is soft. We have space between the teeth. So when the legs get tight, sometimes we use our back. When our back is tight, sometimes we use our legs. Stay connected with breath. So breathing in, letting the breath go. And bring your center of gravity back inward. And maybe a couple more rounds. And then find your place back at neutral, cleansing breath. Pausing, notice how that feels. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So this is really great if you're traveling or something like that. You stop at a rest stop. Maybe do some arch and curl or arch and flatten. And then move your diamond. And maybe a couple of foot sliders, and we'll do those next. And then wiggle around and go on your merry way. Bring your center of gravity in towards the center. Find your long spine. Let go of the breath. Bring a breath in. Good. Rock again on your sits bones and come towards the front of the chair. Pausing, always pausing. Notice how we feel. And then if you'd like to check in, we're going to be flossing our nerves and we're going to be stretching out our fascia a little bit. So looking up towards the ceiling, we have that gentle arch in our backs. Mark your range of motion. And then come back to neutral. Close your eyes. Yogi's choice which side, so switch it up. If you're practicing every day or every other day, switch starting on one side and then the other. And here we go. We're going to glide out. Keep a hinge in the knee, or bend in the knee, hinge on heel, monkey toes, so curling the toes. Feel this contraction in the bottom of the foot. Release, foot comes towards floor. What is the distance between the sole of your foot and the floor? That's another way to just notice change. Glide back, press the sole down and peel the toes back. The heel should be on the floor, so if the foot's too far back, that heel's going to automatically lift, so keep them outward a little bit. Toes to floor, pause. Again, glide out, hinge on heel and monkey toes. So this time the knee is bent. Foot towards floor, glide back, press the sole down and peel the toes back. Contraction at the top of the foot now. Toes to floor, pause. Glide out, hinge on heel and monkey toes. And now bring nose and toes towards floor. Release, foot towards floor, glide back, press the sole down and toes and the nose lifts towards sky. Stay with breath, toes and nose to neutral. Glide out, hinge on heel, nose and toes to floor as we curl the bottom of the foot and the toes. Release, foot towards floor, glide back, nose and toes to sky, pressing the sole downward. The toes are peeled back. And nose and toes to neutral. This time we're going to glide out with a straight leg, our dancer leg. Toes are curled, nose and toes to earth. Release, glide back, nose and toes to sky. And to neutral. Glide out, leg is straight, nose and toes to earth. Glide back, nose and toes to sky. Stay with breath, nose and toes to neutral. Okay, glide out, nose and toes to earth. We're curling those toes just like we did with our monkey toes. Gliding back, nose and toes to sky. And back to neutral. Let's do one more with a straight leg. Glide out, nose and toes to earth. Release, glide back, nose and toes to sky. And come to neutral. This time glide out, keep a bend in the knee, hinge on heel and monkey toes, nose and toes to earth. Release, toes towards floor, maybe noticing the space between the sole of the foot and the floor. In our plantar flexion, glide back, pressing down, nose and toes to sky, and back to neutral, and pause, cleansing breath. Think long, twinkle eyes open if you want to check in halfway, and back to neutral. Good. Going to go to the other side. Here we go. Glide out, hinge on heel and monkey toes. So compare and contrast, left to right, right to left. Foot towards floor, space between sole and the floor. Glide back, sole down, peel the toes, and you can lift the nose. Nose and toes to neutral. Glide out, hinge on heel and monkey toes. So that knee is bent. Foot towards floor. Glide back, nose and toes to sky. Stay with breath. Nose and toes to neutral. Glide out, hinge on heel and monkey toes. Foot towards floor, nose and toes to floor. Glide back, nose and toes to sky. And come to neutral. This time we're going to glide out, leg is straight, and we've got our dancer toes. So toes are curled or pointed towards the floor, nose and toes to earth. Release, glide back, nose and toes to sky. Feel the contraction at the top of the foot. And nose and toes to neutral. Glide out, nose and toes to earth. Glide back, nose and toes to sky. Nose and toes to neutral. Two more. Glide out. Leg is straight. We're pointing. Notice that space between floor and foot. Glide back. Nose and toes to sky. And back to neutral. Last one, we're going to glide out and hinge on the heel. So knee is bent. Monkey toes. Foot towards floor. Nose and toes to floor. Glide back. Nose and toes to sky. So fanning those toes out and coming back to neutral. Cleansing breath. Let it go. Notice how that feels. And then twinkle eyes open. Checking your range of motion. And back to neutral. And pause. Good. Rock on sits bones. And feel free to walk your feet out a little bit. So we're going to integrate with some everting and inverting. Remember, you can do one at a time or both. I like to do a couple with one side and a couple with the other. And then going around the edge. And notice, so if we're in air conditioning, those ankles might get a little tight, right? And the weather was very warm, and we feel kind of loose with that warm weather and go in both directions. But then when it cools down, things kind of tighten up again. Okay. Good. We're going to bring our feet back under and give them a tap and bring the arms alongside. Open and close the fingers. And then we're going to inhale up and exhale down. Maybe add a little sound. Up, down. One more. Up and down. Good. And feet back underneath the knees. Good. Then we're going to go heel, toes, heel, toes. Only go as far as your body needs to go or wants to go. Listen to your body. Heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. And then bring one foot out, circle that ankle one way and then the other. There might be a little popping, and flex and point, and flex and point, and add some soccer kicks. So we're moving right along here for a Monday morning. Good. And then if you want to take your hands underneath or just one and circle that hip or circle the leg bone around in the hip. Couple 2 or 3 times and pause. And if you need to rest your foot in between, that's fine too. Moving slowly. Get that synovial fluid flowing around. And then back to neutral and just pause for a minute. And what a relief it is when we set our leg back down. It feels good to just stop. All right, other foot out. Circle the ankle. Notice if you've begun to slouch down in your seat, and if we do that, rock around in your sits bones, think you're getting measured, find that length in the spine, perky the body back up, flex and point, add some soccer kicks. Notice what's happening in the knee. Is it poppy? Is it grizzly? Does it feel squishy? Okay. And then however you want to circle the hip around in the joint. Remember, we can lean back a little bit to do this, so don't strain the back. Everybody's going to be in a different place. Our circles will look differently. So that's why we practice with our eyes closed. So your practice is for you. And sole of the foot to the floor. Maybe tap it out and rock around on those sits bones. Cleansing breath. Let's turn our palms up just for a moment and do a little mini soma scan. Notice how you feel. Notice is there less tension in the back? Does it feel better to sit now? And then we'll turn the palms over. Okay. And then we're going to move into somatic Celtic cross or compass. So yogi's choice, whichever side you want to start on. I'm going to start on my left. Arm is alongside the body. And just be soft on the other side. Feel free to rock around. And we're going to pendiculate into the top part of the shoulder. So we're going to draw that shoulder up towards ear. Feel a yummy squeeze. If there's tension there, we gently move into that tension so it's kind of glowy, and back to neutral. And if it's skippy, we try to smooth out the movement. Again, glide shoulder up towards ear, and we're going to stick with just 3 on one side, but we can do more, 5 or 7 of these when we're practicing on our own. And back to neutral. Actually, we'll do 5. Shoulder glides up towards ear. So releasing tension in the area of the shoulders and the upper back. And glide back to neutral. And really letting it go, not holding any secret tension. Stay with your breath. Shoulder glides up towards ear. And relax that other shoulder. Glide back down to neutral. And I say that because I was noticing that my other shoulder was starting to creep up and he wants to kind of hang out and go along for the ride. Shoulder glides up towards ear. Nose is neutral. Be soft in the face and come back to neutral. Okay. We're going to move into the area of the side body. So let's see, it's hot outside, we'll have lemon. So think of a lemon underneath the armpit. And we're going to squeeze. Our fingers glide down a little bit towards the floor. We squeeze into the side body, the area of the ribs, and back to neutral. So it doesn't go very far. Again, contract the muscles of the side body, adding compression. And now we know that the top of the shoulder is released. That's the top of the trapezius. Back to neutral. Stay soft in the face. Again, contract the muscles of the side body. Squeeze. And we squeeze into the area of lymph that's under our arms. And back to neutral. 2 more. Contract the muscles of the side body. Feel free if you want to twinkle your fingers a little bit here and there. And back to neutral. And one more. Contract the muscles of the side body. So bringing our mind's eye, that awareness, to one area of the body and back to neutral. But we know that wherever we move in one part of our body, something else moves somewhere else. Okay, coming to the area of the pectoralis, the upper chest. We're going to roll that shoulder forward. The arm rotates out a little bit like a rolling pin, and you can feel the muscles contract, that shoulder coming towards the midline, towards the sternum, and back to neutral and letting it go. So we're not getting ready for the next one. We really let it go. Again, roll the shoulder towards the midline. Feel the muscles contract in the chest and slowly coming back to neutral. This is also going to help with our posture, which helps with our breath, right? Coming towards the midline with the shoulder. Maybe you notice that your arm turns a little tiny bit more each time and back to neutral. Add some cleansing breaths in there if you need to. Again, 2 more. Shoulder rolls towards the center. Maybe you even feel those muscles in the neck and back to neutral. Maybe you want to breathe here and then roll that shoulder. Maybe you want to stay here and feel what it's like to breathe here. Okay, our breath is restricted. We can still breathe, and then floating back to neutral and melt. We're going to go to the upper back. So we're going to take the muscles surrounding the shoulder blade, and we're going to roll that shoulder back towards the spine. Now the arm rotates in the opposite direction. So we're not cranking that arm around, but just letting it go along for the ride. And back to neutral. Again, roll the shoulder back. So isolating movement. And back to neutral. Again, roll that shoulder back. Maybe here with our heart space open, we breathe in. And as we exhale, we bring the arm back softly alongside the body. Always feel free to rock on your sits bones and find what feels good. Again, 2 more. Shoulder rolls back, so we're not cranking into it. We notice what's happening in the area of the collarbone. And back to neutral. And 1 more. And back to neutral. And then gently integrate those movements. And how do we know if we're going too far? Sometimes we would hear a pop, or it just, you can sense and feel from the inside like, oh, that was a little bit too much. Okay, so a little bit goes a long way with the somatics. Good, and open and close the fingers. And then we're going to bring that palm to the thigh. Your palm can be up or down, yogis, whichever feels best. Take a moment, scan. What does it feel like? Front of the body, the side, top of the shoulder, the back of the arm, back of the shoulder. We're going to go to the other side. So compare and contrast left to right, right to left. And here we go. Glide shoulder up towards ear. You may notice that one side of your shoulder feels a little more tense than the other. And back to neutral. Stay soft in the face and space between the teeth. Bottom jaw is dropped down and glides back. Shoulder up towards ear. And relax the other side. And back to neutral. Shoulder up towards ear. And back to neutral. 2 more. Shoulder glides up towards the ear. So if it's sticky, we try to smooth that out. Move into the tension a little bit, even go a little past it. And back to neutral. And last one, glide up towards ear. Oh, that feels so good. And back to neutral. Pause. We've got our big lemon underneath our arms, and then we're going to contract into the side body. So squeezing in the area of the armpit. We feel those muscles contract around our ribs and back to neutral. Again, contract the muscles of the side body. You may want to twinkle your fingers. I do. We've been sitting for a while here and back to neutral. Maybe you feel heat. Contract the muscles of the side body and back to neutral. So keeping our mind's eye, don't let the mind wander. Staying focused. Contract the muscles of the side body and back to neutral. And since I can't remember whether that was 4 or 5, we're going to just do one more. Again, contract the muscles of the side body, squeezing into lymph and back to neutral. Feel free to rock on sits bones. Maybe take a cleansing breath. Come to the area of the pectoralis, and we're going to roll that shoulder. Take the other hand maybe and feel those muscles contract in the chest and back to neutral. Again, rolling shoulder forward, contract the muscles. Let the arm rotate. Palm turns outward a little bit and back to neutral. Face is soft, eyes are soft. Again, contract the muscles of the chest. Maybe you want to take a breath here. Come back to neutral. Again, roll that shoulder in. Maybe try to take a breath here, and as you exhale, let it come back to neutral. One more. Contract the muscles of the chest. Maybe notice that the bottom part of your arm, where the radius and the ulna bone are, that we can rotate a little bit more. And back to neutral. Cleansing breath. We're going to go west on our compass. We're going to roll that shoulder back. Now the arm rotates gently in the other direction. Nose is neutral and back to neutral. Again, roll the shoulder back. Feel the muscles contract and move towards the spine and back to neutral. And we also notice that the front of the chest is completely open and slightly tensioned. So we work with our biotensegral structure back to neutral of compression and tension, and our body likes it. Again, 2 more. And back to neutral. Are you staying connected to your breath? So maybe when that shoulder rolls back, our breath and our heart space is, well, the chest is open and we can breathe a little better. And back to neutral. And then integrate the movements one way and then the other. Go ahead and bring the palm to the thigh. Rock on your sits bones. Notice how that feels. I'm sorry there's lawnmowers going on outside somewhere. Arms alongside the body, and just bring both shoulders up towards ears. And back to neutral. Good. Open and close the hands. And then we're going to bring them to the thighs. We're going to rock on sits bones, and we're going to come down to the lower body. So let's give our legs a gentle little tapping. Bring one foot out, circle the ankle, one way and then the other, and add some soccer kicks. So let's awaken that lower part of the body again. And foot down, other side, circle the ankle, one way and then the other. Maybe flex and point and add some soccer kicks. Good. And tap, tap, tap. So if you're doing computer work and the front of the body gets constricted, my granddaughter was over yesterday and she's jumping out of the pool and I'm helping her up, and she's jumping in the pool and I'm helping her up, and the water's a little cooler. So I can really feel that in my upper torso. Okay? So it feels much better. Much better. It just gets a little stiff from using the muscles. Okay, coming forward in the chair. And then we're going to get our hitchhiker thumb out. So it doesn't matter to me which side, thumb is out. Okay, we're going to begin to rotate. So we're drawing fingers out like there's strings on the ends of our fingers. Rotate. Use the muscles surrounding the shoulder blade to draw that arm back. Find your range of motion and kick it down just a little bit. Kick it down to about 90%. Flex the hand. Look in the opposite direction and nod. Stay with breath. Just add a little integrated movement here. Gaze back towards the hand, straighten the hand out. Bring pinky, ring, middle, pointer, and thumb, and open and close, and give it a shake. Notice how that feels. We're going to go to the other side. Thumb is up. Rotating outward. Pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Find your range of motion. Kick it down about 90%. Flex the hand. Look in the opposite direction and nod. So this is not necessarily a somatic movement. It does have a bit of pandiculation, but just integrating. Straightening the hand out, and then pinky, ring, middle, pointer, and thumb, and open and close, and give it a shake. But I love this movement. Palms to thighs, rock on your sits bones. Both thumbs out. Pointer, middle, ring, pinky, gently flex. Draw shoulder blades towards spine. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to reach around. Give yourself a hug. One hand on top, one hand underneath. I didn't cue that too quickly. And back to neutral, and just let it float and go. Tap the lower body out. Okay? Thumbs up. Remember which hand was on top? Pointers, middle, ring, pinkies, flex. Other hand is on top, and the other hand goes underneath the armpit for a hug. And back to neutral. Let the hands float out and about. Good. Roll the shoulders one way and then the other. Rock on your sits bones. Okay. Okie doke. Let's open up the feet a little bit and get ready for our sun salutations. So always feel free to add a little cow and a little cat, little arch, little curl to bookend anything that you do. Even if I don't always cue it, you can always wiggle around and find what feels good to you. Hands to heart center. There's a fly in here. Hands to heart center. We're going to empty the breath. And here we go. Inhale up. Exhale to cactus. We're at the front of the chair. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow and let it go. So find where it feels good to put your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. So checking your range of motion. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. And exhale, down. Ground into the soles of the feet. Lift. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, up. Exhale to cactus. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. So we're alternating our twists. Inhale, exhale, down. Inhale, other side up, and exhale down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale up, exhale to cactus. Shoulder blades hug spine. Inhale, exhale, soften and bow. So let it go. Let the flesh on the face hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. So there's shoulder blade. Shoulders are helping to rotate the arm out. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Lotus flower. Inhale up. Thumbs and pinkies are together. Middle fingers are out. Exhale to cactus. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. So maybe gaze is watching the hand, even if the eyes are closed. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. Exhale, down. Inhale, ground into the soles of the feet. Hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, lotus. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale to cactus. Twinkle your fingers. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. Exhale, down. Ground into the feet. Lift at the center and the fingertips go high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, let's begin to add some variation. We're going to hinge on our heels. Dorsiflex the feet back. Inhale, up. Exhale to cactus. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow. Soles of the feet to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you flex them back again. Exhale, soften and bow. Soles of the feet to the floor. Inhale, twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. So maybe you're flexing those feet back. Exhale, down, in and out. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Inhale up, cactus crane. Let them look for fish. Inhale, exhale, soften and bow. Bring their heads out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. So let the crane come up. He's looking, and he dives into the water. Inhale, other side up. And exhale, dives into the water. Hello, babies. Inhale, all the way up. Maybe the back of the head's kiss. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, up. Exhale to cactus. Open up those fingers. Inhale. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. Exhale, down. Ground into the feet. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to stay here for one cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Here we go. Inhale up. Maybe gaze is up. Exhale to cactus. Inhale. Exhale. Soften and bow. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale. Soften and bow. Inhale. Twist. Exhale. Down. Inhale. Other side up. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Last one, lotus. Inhale up, maybe gaze is up. Exhale to cactus, shoulder blades hug spine. Inhale, exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and bow. Inhale, twist. Exhale, down. Inhale, other side up. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale. Hands to heart center. Stay here for a moment. Please feel free to rock on your sits bones. Bring palms to thighs. Breathing in and out. Notice how you feel. little mini soma scans from the crown of the head all the way down to the tip of the toes, from the outside of the body all the way in and inside all the way out. So our viscera comes in to play, okay? And from here, turn the heels out. Notice what's happening in the outside of the ankles and the shins and the calves. Toes out, heels out, toes out, toes in. So only go as far as your body permits. Honor your limits and tap it out. Notice if that range of motion when you're heel toeing and heel toeing is changing as your body begins to open up. Okay. Wow, the time is flying. Okay, get your mind's eye in preparation to stand up. When you're ready, eyes are open. I'm just going to shift and just stand up for a moment, kind of lengthen out. We will do blast off since it's a smidgy bit cooler today. Okay, shake your arms, open and close the fists. Circle ankles around, or ankles. Those aren't your cankles. Your wrists are your rankles, and then come on back down. So always find little ways to keep yourself wiggling and moving. Okay, we're going to stay with the heat. We're going to move into our blast offs. Know where your seat is, right? Move at your own pace. If 10 is too much and you can do 1, that's what you do. Okay, here we go. 10, our muscles of independence here, our quadriceps. 9, 8. Oh my goodness, I can't hear you. I'll have to start all over again. 7. Begin to squeeze your biscuits. 6. And let it go. 5. Maybe pull up your pelvic floor. 3. And are you doing that throughout the day? 3. 2. And 1. And then we're going to blast off. Blast off and reach up. Gently move into the side body. Okay, we've been sitting, so those hip flexors will get a little tight, the psoas will get a little tight, so being gentle here, right? Feathering our technique here. It's going to look differently on everybody. Shake it out, shake it out. And you want to march around your chair. And are you going around your chair the same way every single time? So try not to do that. Shake it up, right? Almost like doing the hokey pokey to turn ourselves around. I'm going to angle my chair. Okay. Stay with breath. We're going to come to Tadasana. You can use your chair, rock back and forth, a little side to side. And we remember we don't stand like this, right? We keep our feet out a little bit. Give ourselves some space. Find Tadasana, find mountain pose. Arms alongside the body, belly is soft, right? Maybe we let go from our chair. Maybe close our eyes just for a moment or a breath or two. The only creature on the planet that walks on 2 legs on a regular basis. Okay, and if you need your eyes twinkled or if you need to hold on, that's fine. I'm going to come back here like this a little bit, and we're going to inhale, hands up, and exhale down. Feel free to wiggle around. You don't have to be stiff. We're not robots. Inhale up and exhale down. I feel like I'm facing the wrong way. And then we're going to inhale up and add some lateral movement. Exhale, ground into both soles of the feet. Exhale over, inhale up. Exhale, other side. Inhale up. So feathering, Just a little bit of movement goes a long ways. Inhale up. We're going to do 3 on each side. Exhale over. If this doesn't feel good with hands together, we can do cactus, okay, or a V. Find what feels good. We don't want to pull on the shoulders. And one more. Inhale up and twinkle the hands down and around. Roll your shoulders. Walk it out. Good. And shake it out. And no more power stuff right now. Okay. And we're going to add contralateral movements. So we're doing the X or somatic back lift, okay, in a standing format, standing position. So we're in Tadasana. We're going to hold on with one hand, okay? We're taking the back. Let's see. I'll take the back of my left cheek, or back of my right hand on my left cheek, okay? And let's just do the upper body first. We're rotating the elbow back. Gaze is watching the elbow even with the eyes closed. And then back to neutral. And let's think about if we were lying on the floor, our hip points are kind of staying stationary or towards the back of the chair. I would not recommend getting right up against the chair. So give yourself some space. Rotating back. Feel the shoulder blade hug the spine. And then back to neutral. And then just bring that arm down and shake it out. Holding on to the back of the chair. We're going to lift the left heel straight back, right? Straight back. Feel which muscles engage in the area of the glutes, maybe the hamstrings and the upper back. Okay. And come back to neutral. Now we're going to connect the dots. Back of the right hand is on the left cheek. Okay. If you're on the other hand, don't worry about it. Okay. Elbow rotates back. Heel lifts. Take a breath in, feel which muscles contract, and slowly coming back towards neutral. And if you need to bring that hand down and shake your legs out, then go for it. Okay? We don't have to do it right in a row. Think about what you're doing. So maybe eyes are closed, rotating back. Feel the muscles engage. Maybe you feel that in the top of your shoulder as well. I do, from playing with granddaughter and coming back to neutral. We'll do 3 each. 3 on each side. Heel lifts. Elbow rotates back. We're staying grounded with that left hand on the chair. And back to neutral. And letting go here. Just pausing. We're going to go to the other side, okay? Right cheek is on the back of the left hand. I'm going to rotate back. Feel the muscles surrounding that shoulder blade. And come to neutral, and you can release that hand. Let's do one more like this. So we can always break these movements down. Gliding back, and the eyes are watching that elbow, even if the eyelids are closed, and release. Staying grounded here with both hands. We're going to gently lift that right heel off the floor. We don't go way up high in the sky, right? We're just gently lifting it up. Feel the muscles engage, and then come back to neutral. I'm going to turn my chair a little bit like this. All right. Again, that heel lifts off the floor. My hip points are forward. And then coming back to neutral. Always feel free to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay? Back of the hand is on the cheek. And then we're going to coordinate. And maybe this is sticky. Elbow draws back towards the heel. So if we look from a bird's eye in the back, it would look like an X. And come back to neutral. Feel free to release that hand. Let it go. Maybe empty your breath, and as you rotate, you're lifting. So we feel the pandiculation of the muscles. Pendiculated muscles are contracting and then coming back to neutral and letting go. I'm going to do my last one facing this way in case anybody doesn't remember how to do this. Remember, it's like patting your tummy and rubbing our heads, and vice versa. And back to neutral. And release. And if you want to, you can march it out a little bit. Okay, you can wiggle your legs forward. And what is this good for? This is good for our posture and our gait, right? Because that's what we do when we walk. We do this. Right, we're swinging our arms. Our chest space is open. And we spend 80% of our time standing on one leg, even though we don't realize it. Okay, coming back to Tadasana. And then we're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Start with your knees bent. Find length in your spine without pulling on your back. So find what feels good. Let the face be soft. Maybe before we walk our dog, we add ourselves a little cow and a little cat. So a little standing cow and cat, very gentle. We're in the area of the sacrum. I do this sometimes when I'm in the kitchen and I'm canning, and I've been putting up pickles, so it just feels good. And then when you're ready, find length and begin to walk your dog. So one leg is straight, one leg is bent. So in some of the physical therapist conferences, they talk about these meridian points, and in downward facing dog, it seems to hit about 17 of these meridian points or trigger points in the fascia. And we know that when we do this, we remind ourselves to wag more and bark less. So wagging our tails, walking our dogs. And then slowly finding a place of stillness. Maybe the ears are between the eyes or the elbows, maybe, maybe not. Our spine is long, back is flat. And breathe into the back side of the body, at least 3 cycles of breath. And then after your 3rd cycle, maybe you're into your 4th, give yourself a nice hard cough out. Pull up your pelvic floor first. That's a reminder to keep that pelvic floor pulled up when we cough. Gently lift the upper body, look towards your hands. Slowly walk towards the back of the chair. Woo! Let the blood pressure change a little bit. And we're going to ground into the chair with our hands or our heels of our hands and bring ourselves to up dog. And slowly come back down. Rise up to up dog. Slowly come back down. And once more, and when we rise up like this, we're contracting the muscles. So we're creating pendiculation in the calves. And we're slowly coming out of that. And then we're going to lock it in. Hinge on the heels. Don't pull your chair back. Soles of feet to floor and give it a shake. And give it a march. Okay. All right, let's have a little fun. And we're going to do a tree pose. So I'm going to turn my chair sideways so I'm not obstructing my body with the, I'm looking around for the yoga block that was in here, but it's not in here, okay? We can use the rung on the back of a chair, or we're going to do tree pose, or you can use a book. I'm trying to think of, you can stand here on a book, okay, or a block. You can use your heel as a kickstand, okay? So find which leg you want to stand on. I know we talk about default. And you see how my body is kind of cockeyed because I'm pushing my hip out. So we're going to align ankle, knee, hip point, and shoulder nice and long, okay? There can be a slight bend in that standing knee. So wherever this foot is, it can just be here, okay? And if you want to let go from your chair, you can. If you need to hold on, that's fine. Bring everything in towards the midline. We're holding for 5 breaths. We've already gone through about 2. And you can have your tree however you want it. If you just want to stay in one place, we've got our drishti. We've got something to focus on, although I like to move my eyes around. So it's up to you, yogis, whatever you want to do. And it's not super breezy today, but if you want to move your tree around, you can move your tree around. If you want to take and change your gaze, that's going to throw the balance off. So we're building strength and stability in that standing leg. We're teaching our body, hey, if we get thrown off balance, we can regain our balance. We lose our balance to gain our balance. Okay. And then at the end, let's bring that knee forward. And if you want to, I love Christmas in July, bringing that foot out, maybe putting a star on your tree. Use your breath to channel the energy. And holding on, maybe bringing it in and shake it out and march it out. Wowie, right? Wowie, wowie. And we're always being told to keep our bones strong. This keeps our bones strong, right? Because this is weight bearing movement, weight bearing exercise, even though this is not exercise class, it's somatics class, okay? Get yourself ready for your balance. Remember, you can use whatever you want. Maybe you want to bring the sole of the foot to the calf. Some people like to have it way up here. I don't particularly like that because I don't stand around like that. I'm not a flamingo, okay? However you want to do this. Okay, Daisy's chasing a fly. So you can hold on if you need to, or hands to heart center. If I go like this, are you going to do that? Whoa! You can be a sombrero cactus on this very hot July day. It's okay if we're shaking, right? Because our body is learning. So this is my weak side, and that side, I'm not sunk out. I'm bringing everything in towards the midline. Use your core. Find your strength. So we're at 5 breaths now. We can bring a knee forward, and maybe that leg comes out, and maybe we put a star on our Christmas tree. This looks like Hamilton, looks like the symbol for the production of Hamilton. And releasing, coming forward, marching it out. You can feel the muscles working in that standing leg. Okay, and then we're just going to we've run over a smidgy, but we started a smidgy late. Okay, shake it out and just step yourself back into a downward facing dog. Remember, your knees are bent at first, and then walk your dog a little bit. Back is flat. We try to make our back flat. Find a place of stillness. Bend your knees. Take a breath in. Feel the back side of the ribs. And softly let it go. Looking towards your hands and slowly walking up. One more up dog. Oh yeah, and back to neutral. And then bringing yourself back towards your chair, going in an opposite direction that you normally would. Come towards the front of the chair and just bookend your practice with a little cow and a little cat. And then coming to neutral And even though we don't always focus on our eyes, all of our practice is always helping the muscles in our eyes. And scooting back into our chair. Turning palms up. Remember, we don't always do Shavasana or at the end of our practice in our chair. So after practice, when we sign off, maybe take, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes, to just stay completely quiet within ourselves and have a little Shavasana. That's our corpse pose, where we just honor our minds, our bodies, our spirits, our emotions. So staying with breath. And I invite you to bring your hands to your heart center. And thank you for practicing this morning and allowing me to be here with you. And as always, from my heart to yours, until next time, the light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. I hope you have a happy day.